All right, our next inductee tonight is Walter Sharpe. Of course, Walter has since passed, but his grandson, Walt Schwarzenbacher.
Close enough.
Sharpe is a hell of a lot easier. Just want to throw that out there. All right. But I should be, but I got to look at how I wrote your last name, just so I could say it the right way. Okay, that's how you do that. Walter started the senior men's league here in St. Louis, and folks, this league used to play down at the old arena, at the old Barney. Scotty Bowman was even part of this league at that time, which gives you an idea. And it's one of those reminders as you're hearing these people up here thank those of you out there, or maybe some names that you don't even know, that this community and hockey in this community goes as deep as it does long before the St. Louis Blues even got here. And I know a lot of it gets tied into the Blues and the alumni, but there's so much that happened even before the Blues arrived. And Walter Sharpe is one. Of course, a lot of you know that last name, Sharpe. His oldest granddaughter, Angela, was our in-game host for 11 years and stuff. Angela is here tonight and stuff. So let's give a nice warm welcome to Walt Schwarzenbacher, accepting for his grandfather, Walter Sharpe.
I just want to say thank you first to Mr. McKenna and Mr. Collette and my sister Angela for actually getting this going, getting my grandfather in front of the board for the St. Louis Amateur Hockey Hall of Fame to get inducted. I'm here today, of course, to accept the award on my grandfather's behalf. I know he's with us today. He would have loved this. To those of you tonight who never knew the man, he was wonderful. He did things his way, and his way usually was the right way. I know he had a motto he lived by: it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So I feel like tonight's kind of the right thing to induct him to the Hall of Fame. He stood tall. He was 6'3". He had a great command of the English language. If you wanted to argue with him, you had to bring a dictionary. Of course, I never argued with him. Growing up, I was little Walt. Even though I wasn't born with that name, about 4 years old, I just refused to be called anything than Walt. That was my middle name at the time. My parents actually, after that, legally changed my name to be Walt. So from there on out, I was little Walt, and he was big Walt. Being more like Papa was the reason I actually started playing hockey. I grew up playing, went through high school. I was never as good as him. Never as good as these people on the panel here today. And actually, I know everybody here's hockey fans. I ran into squirt hockey coaches. I have some high school assistant coaches here. But if you look at my table here, there are tons of hockey fans. Both my uncles, my grandfather's sons, both grew up goalies for Kirkwood, Chaminade, Vianney, respectively. My cousin here, actually, she cheered for our high school hockey team. My younger sister, was on the Blues crew for 4 years, and everyone knows my older sister Angela, who was with the Blues for 11 years, as in-game host. But we all got the hockey bug directly from my grandfather. But he took his love of hockey outside the family. He truly helped build the foundation of the hockey in St. Louis. Time, though, is terrible. It does a lot of things. One of the hardest things is it fades memories. And with my grandfather not here, it's hard to know what exactly he did to help build the community. I wish he was here, actually, to convey everything that he did to help amateur hockey in St. Louis. But my mom, aunt, and uncles all remember the endless hockey meetings, the phone calls from hockey coaches, parents of hockey players, him putting out fires and dealing with suspensions, and everything that went along with being the president of St. Louis Amateur Hockey. In fact, I got thrown out multiple times in high school for different fights. I was that third line player that helped out with that. So he probably would have suspended me much more longer than I did when I was playing. But a lot of people don't know is the heart he had. He's always trying to find the perfect solution for everyone that benefited everyone involved. He started the Brandon O'Neill Trophy, which was the trophy for Kirkwood and Webster, which since changed names. But he went from every high school trying to grow the sport. I could list a small amount of credentials my family can remember to credit my grandfather with for this honor. But that doesn't help you know the essence of the man. My mom actually remembers him bringing home a homeless person. They scraped together a meal and enough money to help him out. But one thing I remember from the games playing, he made it to every one of my games. He was in the stands, but he would move with the goalie from side to side. I played defense. I wasn't crazy enough to stand in net and get those pot shot at me like my uncles, and he was. It takes a special kind of breed of person to be a hockey goalie. But he worked all the way up into his passing. Many nights after a long days at work, he'd come visit me and my sisters, my cousins. He's been gone with us 19 years, but I know he would have been at every Blues game to watch my sister, Angela MC, and my other sister scrape the ice, even though that's all she did as a Blues group. It's fitting that this year he's receiving this award the same year that the Blues won the Stanley Cup. I know there's so much he did to promote hockey here in St. Louis, and he'd be incredibly proud seeing the city rallying around this team. So I can tell you all that we miss him very much, and hockey lost a real ambassador of the sport the day he died. But on behalf of Walter Sharpe, his family, my grandmother Shirley, just want to thank everybody for inducting him to St. Louis Hockey Hall of Fame. Thanks, Chris.
I think there's pretty something special to see when a young man gets up here to talk about his grandfather and still is that emotional about him. That's something that is really doggone cool, you know? Because really, folks, when you do think about what it means, nobody is sitting in this room, and talking about what it took to become a hockey family, unless we're talking about family, and it has to start with that. So that was really special, Walt. Great job. You can drop the little Walt. You're just Walt now, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. They could have helped you out by changing that last name too a little bit on you. Smith would have worked if they were going through the hassle, just change it, yeah.